Well, welcome everybody. I'm Mr. Stauffer and I get to be the principal at Sherman. I hope you enjoyed that video. We just wanted to show a little bit about the things that we really care about the most and what we're really working on this year, and that is teaching your kids. And students, we're here for you. Again, thank you for being here. We're glad you're spending a little bit of your time with us this evening. As we get going, I want to also identify a couple people who are helping us in the background as producers. Mr. Keefe and Mrs. Miller in the background, and they're going to be helping us throughout this broadcast. It is a live broadcast, and it's a new thing for us, so hopefully it comes across with the right message that we're intending. If you are on Facebook Live, below the screen right here that you're observing this, you'll have an opportunity to put any questions or comments that you have, and we'll have Mr. Keefe and Mrs. Miller monitoring them and letting us know so we can make sure we answer those questions as they come. Also, if you are on YouTube, you will have on your right hand of your screen, right here on this side, you will also be able to do the same thing and put your comments and your questions, and we will get to answer them as quickly as possible. Again, welcome, and thank you for joining us this afternoon.
Hello, Gators. We are so excited that you could join us tonight, and hopefully you got a little taste of that video, and we wanted to express just our gratitude and for your support as we were thrust into what we like to refer to as crisis learning last spring. And we're also super excited. All of our teachers are really ready to express some of the quality learning experiences that the kids are going to jump into from the lessons that we've learned. And we like to refer to that, what we're about ready to jump into this fall, is distance learning. So the difference between the two, and both of those are going to be relying upon the kids, the parents, and the teachers all working together. And I have no doubt in my mind that the Gators will prevail in this effort. Now for a couple of housekeeping items. So our office hours, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to our office hours, to our office that will be staffed to answer the phones, answer emails. The phones will be staffed in the office from 8 a.m. until 3 every day. So if you have any questions, please reach out. Also, we are going to continue to offer lunches here at the school from 11:15 until 12:15 every day. So if you are able to come over and grab those lunches, they will be ready for you. Thanks to a grant, Sherman has the ability to give our breakfast similar to how they did in the fall, and lunches for free to Sherman students. If you are picking up a lunch for a middle schooler or high schooler, those will be charged at the respective rates of those kiddos.
Thank you, Mr. Channer. Appreciate that. A couple other details that we've been asked frequently have to be with communication. What is the way that in which the school is going to communicate with us? Well, one way, if you see down along the bottom, along the rolling board down there, we have a Facebook, a YouTube page, and a Twitter page. We highly recommend following those. We do post a lot of information of upcoming activities, recent announcements, and basically anything else we have going on. We try to give you good feedback there. This year also, and many of you are probably familiar with this mechanism, and it's called Remind. It's an app that actually sends you text alerts, and we are now using it district-wide. So that will become more of a frequent reminder and a frequent used app that we will be sending out weekly communications. Now, in those communications, here's some things that you can expect. First, from the administrative team, from Mr. Channer and myself. We will send out a weekly video in which we bring you updated to things that might be transpiring that week. We'll also have some other items that might be in there of interest for you. That will be done and posted on Facebook, YouTube, and pushed out through Remind. And so you can expect to receive that every Monday. Now, the teachers will also be talking about their communication with you. There's a couple of venues in which they will use, but we'll have them talk about that as they meet and greet you here in just a few minutes. Now, another question that we're typically asked and a worry that comes across from parents, and it's an understandable one, is what platforms are we going to be using on our iPads or our kids? What are they going to be using? And the good news is for those of you who are with us during the crisis learning, we are going to be using Teams and Flipgrid. Those are going to be two of our predominant ones. Now, there will be some grade-specific platforms, and again, each teacher will work with those. But for Monday, really be looking for Teams and Flipgrid. We do have one additional platform that will be new, but it will also be a huge help for parents, and it's called Otis. Shortly, you'll be receiving an email from the Nampa School District with a code that will help you link all of your kids. If you have more than one kid in the Nampa School District, it will link all of them to where you can see all of your students' assignments, where they need to get the assignments, and how they're progressing on those assignments, including seeing what their current grades are. So a much better platform to help you as parents stay really up to date with what is taking place on a day-to-day basis with your students. Now, these are going to be the main primary ones that we use. Again, our teachers will spend a little bit of time talking about those platforms that they will be using for you. And at this point in time, we're going to start moving in and introducing our teachers we have so far. It looks now that we will be able to transition to our second grade team, and we have them up and ready for you.
Well, good evening, parents and students of second graders. We are so excited here at Sherman that you are going to be starting school again on Monday. It feels like forever since we've seen you last. My name is Mrs. Kelsom, and I am the Mickey Mouse room, if you've ever been in the building. And my teacher candidate here is Miss Robbins. And she is in her last year at Boise State, and so she will be joining us on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. What I'm going to talk to you about is how to contact us. It is going to be very important that we keep in great contact through all of this distant learning. So we will be, I thought Keith had my poster up there. There we go. So on the screen, you will see all of our email addresses, which is one way to reach us. We will all be sending out our webpage that has links. And we put lots of stuff on there, links to the district office, our district webpage on tutorials and help, and our calendar and schedule, and everything will be in that central location of our webpage. Our school phone number that you can reach us here in the building. I got an email because I have a student in the high school that said that they would be sending out an email today telling us how to get set up with Remind. That will be our main form of communication. So make sure that you download that. And I know that you can make it to where it just texts right to your phone. And then again, as soon as we have all the information on Otis, that will also be another great place for us to look. All right, I'm going to pass it off to Miss Lasnik.
Hi, my name is Miss Lasnik. I'm a second grade teacher here at Sherman. I'm going to talk a little bit about our tools that we're going to be using for digital learning. So one tool that we are going to really need, of course, is our tablet. And so as a second grade team, we're going to be starting at 8:30 for our morning meeting. And we ask that you double check in the night before that your tablets are charged. And then also the pens, if they can be charged too. We are going to put on our websites that Ms. Kelsom talked about some troubleshooting videos. So if anything happens with the tablet or the pen, you can't get it to work for whatever reason. Like, I can't remember who it was that said, but sometimes there are easy fixes. So we'll put some little videos on there for that. And then another suggestion is to maybe find a quiet workspace or at least a little area that the kids can focus while they're working. And then some of the major apps that we're going to be using, the big one is Teams. That's where we do our morning meetings. That's where we're going to do most of our lessons for our synchronous learning. Another one is going to be the Otis when we get that up and running. And then some of the other little apps that we use are just going to be Flipgrid and Epic and Splash Math. And those are the ones that we're going to try and probably use the most. Next up, we have Ms. Linker.
Hi, families. I'm Mrs. Linker, and I'm the superhero-themed classroom. I'm going to be talking about our schedule. So second grade will be starting every day except for Wednesdays at 8:30 a.m. If you can't see that screenshot very well, or you don't have a pen handy to write this down, it's okay because all of the second grade teachers will be posting the schedule on 3 places: on Remind, on the Otis dashboard, and on our teacher website. And so we will post the schedule anytime there's changes. But right now, our plan is to have all second graders on at 8:30 every day through the Teams app. And then we are committed to ending promptly every day at 10:50. So kids can go ahead and start their lunch at 11 to 12:30. So then we want kids back on Teams at 12:30 to finish out the day's learning. Now, if there's any changes to the schedule, we will let you know at least 24 hours in advance. We promise to let you know and keep you updated on those 3 platforms: Otis, our class website, and Remind. So all you need to remember for right now is to be on Teams at 8:30 Monday morning. Up next is Mrs. Requa.
Hi, Sherman. I'm Mrs. Requa. I have the Charlie Brown or the Peanuts room, if you've been in the building before. And I agree with Miss Kelsom. It's been so long since we've seen you. We're so glad to have you back. I know we got some materials ready for you, and I know you're excited about what was in the bag. So I'd like to show you some of the materials that you're going to have. One is a workbook that we will use for practice or review. Okay, that was in there. You also have an envelope that has your decodables. You will be using those when we practice our reading. Okay? Next, I know you're probably all wondering what is in this bag. Please, I know you're excited, but please keep everything in here. We will be doing a STEM activity next week. You will need everything in this bag to help you with your STEM activity. Okay? And parents, on the newsletter, I know we have a QR code. Please scan that and fill out the information, because what that does is that helps us get to know your child better. Yeah, thank you, Mr. Keefe. Yeah, that's just information to help us to get know your child better and make those connections. And first, on behalf of second grade, we'd like to welcome you back and thank you for joining us.
Hey, great job, second grade. We did have a couple of questions come in. And if there are any other questions that are out there, please feel free to post them on the chat feed. The first question is similar to what we had for first grade. It's asking if there were any supplies needed that were outside of the normal supply list.
On the letter that was stapled to their bag, there was a recommended supply list that, because everything's on sale right now, and so it'd probably be best to go out and get the stuff that we might need in our classroom when we do come back in hybrid mode. But there was a list on the letter.
Awesome, thank you. Another question came out, and it's asking what will we be doing on Wednesdays? So America, for that one, and then there's a question here from Brittany. We're going to hold those for when Mr. Stauffer comes back on so that he can better explain those questions. So hold on for just a little bit longer, and we will get those answered for you. We did have a question come in on YouTube asking, can our kids continue assignments during lunch recess time? Some days my children would like to skip recess.
Anytime that they want to do work, they're more than welcome to.
Great to hear that. I'm checking to see if there are any other questions on here, but while I am looking, I'm going to bring Mr. Stauffer back on so that he can answer the first question, which was, what are we going to be doing on Wednesdays?
Thank you for asking. For those of you who were with us during the crisis learning, Wednesdays became a day where we worked on it was named as a no new learning day. We still had things for kids to do in the sense of assignments that they haven't accomplished throughout the week and catch up, and also reaching out to the teachers. The idea was that we wouldn't pile on more and more work that the kids could not get to. We really are being very thoughtful and precise in the amount of work we will be providing. And so Wednesdays is a day to really take a breath a little bit, catch up with what you need to, reach out to your teacher, and have some time to really have some of those conversations that are needed. So Wednesday is really a flex day. We won't be introducing any new materials on that day.
Awesome. And then the last or the second question here for you, Mr. Soffer. It is this only for the first 2 weeks?
Brittany, we sure hope so. We really don't know. Part of that is the board, the school board looks to the Southwest District Health for guidance. They will make determinations on when we will move from this online learning or this digital distance learning to the hybrid learning. And so those are things that as you follow our school board's conversations, you'll have a good idea of what's taking place. And obviously, as soon as we know that we may move to hybrid, we will be letting you know as well. It's one of those variables that are not in the school's hands. That is really up to the school board to make the decision on what they feel is the most appropriate setting for our learning to take place.